Welcome everyone to Molalla Lodge for the installation of Woodburn Lodge's officers for the ensuing Masonic year. Woodburn is under remodel at the current time, and that's why we have had the honor of welcoming them here today for their installation, and hopefully it will be a Christmas present or a New Year's gift to have their remodel completed. Today, we do have the honor of some visiting dignitaries. We have the honored Queen from Bethel 81, Jennifer Peeber, as well as the honored Queen from Bethel 43, Kaylee Pearson. Welcome. The installation team today consists of a recent Mason of the Month, a recent recipient of the Hiram Award, past master of Molalla Lodge, Grant Sharp. Brother Grant? Our installing chaplain is an immediate past master of Molalla Lodge and is going to serve one more term as master of Molalla for the ensuing Masonic year, worshipful brother Rob Livingston. I am the installing officer. My name is Mike McGuire. I am a past master of Molalla Lodge, and I currently serve the Grand Master of Masons in Oregon as his Grand Persuader. A few instructions, if I might. Please take pictures. You may move around the lodge room at any time during the installation of your loved one or friend and take pictures. You may take them from back here. You may take them from over here, from the back of the room, wherever you would like to be. So I encourage you to take pictures. Take plenty of them. This is something that may not come around again, or very rarely come around as serving as a officer in this position. Please turn off your cell phones. If they ring during the installation process, something could happen to them, so please silence your cell phones. This, as most of you know, is a gavel. The gavel is useful in these ceremonies because it helps tell people what to do. 2 raps of the gavel will bring the officers or Masons only up, as you can see. 3 raps would bring everyone to their feet, and 1 rap will seat you. Look, it worked perfectly. So that's the use of the gavel, and I will try to keep that straight because sometimes it confuses me, so perhaps we'll both help each other on that one. So let's see if it works. It did, and I call your attention to the flag of our country, emblem of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Boy, that worked, you know? Excellent. Love it when things work. This is the crowning ceremony in ordinary lodge proceedings. It forms an agreeable episode wherewith to commence the Masonic year. It teaches the peculiar art of laying off the insignia of office without compulsion and assuming them without arrogance. It restores for the hour the equality between officers and members, thereby suggesting a democratic form of Masonic elections. And it impresses upon the heart that lesson which cannot be too often impressed, the dependence of all things upon God. When properly performed, there is nothing in Masonry more inspiring or instructive.
please rise? So, brother and song officers, it's my pleasure to present those members of Woodburn Lodge number 106 who have been elected or appointed to serve Woodburn chapter for Woodburn Lodge for the ensuing year.
Brethren of Woodburn Lodge number 106, you behold before you the brethren who you have selected as officers of this lodge for the ensuing Masonic year. And we shall now proceed to install them. All our labors being begun, prosecuted, and carried to fulfillment in the name of the Supreme Architect of the universe. Let us, before proceeding further, invoke the divine blessing of Almighty God. Brother Chaplain, you will lead us in our devotions.
Our Heavenly Father, in whom we move and act and have our being, and in whose name all our rites, ceremonies, and labors are consecrated, we humbly implore thy divine blessing and the inspiration of thy guidance and presence throughout the installation services about to be performed. Endow and enrich all of the officers, from the humblest to the most high in station, with the wisdom and power to carry on and execute in thy name and to successful fruition the manifold duties and obligations they are about to assume. Sanctify and strengthen them with thy grace, and cause the brethren of this lodge to realize that only by harmonious labors and cooperation of all we can hope to attain the glorious objects to which our order is dedicated. Be with us in all our undertakings throughout the coming year. Amen.
So mote it be. Brother Installing Marshal, you will present the Master-elect for installation. It's his first time.
That's right. Listen to instructions. Brother Song Officer, it's my pleasure to present to you Brother Kent Huber, who has been elected by Woodburn Lodge number 106 to serve as worshipful master for the ensuing Masonic year.
My brother, previous to your investiture, it is necessary that you signify to your assent to those ancient charges and regulations which point out the duty of a master of a lodge. At the end of the 15 questions, I will ask for your answer, and you will answer in the affirmative. Do you promise to be a good man and true, and strictly to obey the moral law? Do you promise to be a peaceable citizen and cheerfully conform to the laws of the country in which you reside? Do you promise not to be concerned in plots and conspiracies against the government of the country in which you live, but patiently submit to the decision of the law and the constituted authorities? Do you promise to pay a proper respect to the civil magistrates, to work diligently, live credibly, and act honorably by all men? Do you promise to hold in veneration the original rulers and patrons of the Order of Freemasonry and their regular successors, supreme and subordinate according to their stations, and to submit to the awards and resolutions of your brethren in lodge convened, in every case consistent with the constitutions of the fraternity? Do you promise, as much as it in you lies, to avoid private piques and quarrels, to guard against intemperance and excess? Do you promise to be cautious in your behavior, courteous to your brethren, and faithful to your lodge? Do you promise to respect genuine and true brethren, and to discountenance impostors and all dissenters from the ancient landmarks of the constitutions of Freemasonry? Do you promise, according to the best of your ability, to promote the general good of society, to cultivate the social virtues, and to propagate the knowledge of the mystic art according to our statutes? Do you promise to pay homage to the Grand Master and his officers, and strictly to conform to every edict of the Grand Lodge that is not subversive of the principles and groundwork of Freemasonry? Do you admit that it is not in the power of any man or body of men to make innovations in the body of Freemasonry? Do you promise a regular attendance at the communications of the Grand Lodge upon receiving proper notice and to pay attention to all the duties of Masonry? Do you admit that no new lodge can be formed without the permission of the Grand Lodge, and that no countenance ought to be given to an irregular lodge or any person clandestinely initiated therein, as being contrary to the ancient charges of the fraternity? Do you admit that no person can be regularly made a Freemason in or admitted a member of any regular lodge without previous notice and due inquiry into his character? Do you agree that no visitor shall be received into your lodge without due examination and producing the proper vouchers of memberships in a regular lodge? These are the ancient, free and accepted regulations of Masons. Do you submit to these charges and promise to support these regulations as masters have done in all ages before you?
I do.
Brother Hubert, in consequence of your cheerful conformity to the charters and regulations of the fraternity, you are now to be installed as master of the lodge, in full confidence of your care and skill and capacity to govern the same. You will now receive in charge the charter, the code, or book of constitutions, and the bylaws of your lodge. The charter, from the Grand Lodge of this jurisdiction alone, gives authority to this lodge to meet and work. And without its presence, no meeting of the lodge is lawful. In no case should it ever be out of your immediate control, until at the expiration of your term, you shall have duly transmitted it to your successor in office. The code or book of constitutions you are to search at all times. Cause it to be read in your lodge, that none may pretend ignorance of its excellent precepts it enjoins. Receive also the bylaws of your lodge, which you are to see carefully and punctually observed. You will now be invested with the jewel of your exalted station. Take it this way. And swing it in. And have a seat. Get right back up. I'm going to call the lodge. Masons only. Worshipful Master, behold your brethren. Brethren, behold your master. Let us salute him with the public grand honors of Masonry of 3 times 3. And finally, my brother, I place in your hand this gavel. It is the symbol of your authority. Wield it, my brother, with prudence and discretion. Try it out. It works. It works. Would you like me to completely install your officers, or would you like to do it?
Much.
Have a seat. Hat off. That was almost painless, wasn't it? Okay. Officers to be installed, please rise. My brethren, before proceeding to officially invest you, it is necessary for you to take a solemn obligation. You will therefore, each of you, place your right hand upon your left breast, say "I," pronounce your name, and repeat after me. I do solemnly promise that I will serve this lodge in the office for which I have been selected for the space of 1 year from the festival of St. John the Evangelist through the next one ensuing, and will perform all the duties appertaining to my office to the best of my ability, so help me God. Brother installing marshal, you will present the senior warden for installation.
Brother installing master, it is my pleasure to present Brother Aaron Morris, who has been elected by Woodburn chapter number 106 as senior warden for the ensuing Masonic year.
Brother Morris, you have been duly elected senior warden of this lodge and are now invested with the jewel of your office. The level teaches and reminds us that we are descended from the same stock, partake of the same nature, and share the same hope, and that, though earthly distinctions among men are necessary to preserve leadership and ensure the orderly functioning of government and society, yet no eminence or superiority of station should make us forget that we are brethren and children of one Almighty Father, who in the lodge and in our Masonic associations are on a level. By the level, we are further admonished that a time will come, and the wisest knows not how soon, when all distinctions, but that of goodness, shall cease, and death, the leveler of all human greatness, reduce us to the same state. Your regular attendance at our stated and other meetings is essentially necessary, and in absence of the master, you are to govern this lodge, and in his presence, you are to assist him in its government. Hence, the necessity of preparing yourself for the important duties which may devolve upon you. Look well to the west.
Can you find your way to your signature? Thank you.
Brother installing marshal, you will present the junior warden for installation.
Brother installing master, it is my pleasure to present Brother Kevin Gregory, who has been elected by Woodburn chapter number 106, Woodburn Lodge number 106, as junior warden for the ensuing Masonic year, and now presents himself for installation.
Brother Gregory, you have been elected junior warden of this lodge and are now invested with the jewel of your office. The plumb admonishes us to walk uprightly in our several stations, to do unto others as we would have them to do unto us, and to observe the just medium between intemperance and pleasure, and make our lives and actions conform to the line of our duty. In the absence of the master and the senior warden, upon you devolves the government of the lodge, and to you especially committed the superintendence of the craft during the hours of refreshment. It is therefore indispensably necessary that you not only be temperate and discreet in the indulgence of your own inclinations, but that you carefully observe that none of the craft convert the purposes of refreshment into intemperance or excess. Your regular and punctual attendance is particularly requested, and I have every confidence that you will faithfully perform the important duties of your office. Look well to the south. Masons only. Brother Installing Marshal, you will make the proclamation.
By the power vested in me as installing marshal for Woodburn Chapter number 106, I declare Brother Ted Huber as master of Woodburn Lodge, Eric Morris as senior warden for Woodburn Lodge, and Devin Gregory as junior warden duly installed. Present them with the public grand honors of 3 times 3, beginning your count with me.
Brother Installing Marshal, you will present the treasurer for installation.
Brother Installing Officer, it's my pleasure to present Brother Scott Patterson, who's been appointed or elected to serve Woodburn Lodge number 106 as treasurer for the ensuing year. It's also my understanding.
That's true. Brother Derrickson, you have been elected treasurer of this lodge, and you are now invested with the jewel of your office. Excellent. It is your duty to receive all monies from the hands of the secretary, make due entries, and account of the same, and pay them out by order of the worshipful master and consent of the lodge. Your own honor and confidence reposed in you by your brethren will inspire you to that faithfulness in the discharge of your duties in your office, which its important nature demands. You took a shortcut. There goes the perfect installation. Brother Installing Marshal, you will present the secretary for installation.
Installing Master, it's my pleasure to present Brother Don Judson, who's been elected secretary for Woodburn Lodge number 106, and now presents himself for installation.
Brother Judson.
Not yet a member of it.
Hey, you have been elected secretary of this lodge, and you are now invested with the jewel of your office. Excellent. Your duties are, and there are many, to make note of all the proceedings of the lodge. Make a fair record thereof of all things proper to be written. Receive all monies due the lodge and pay them over to the treasurer, taking his receipt for the same, and to issue notices and summonses at the master's discretion. Your office brings you into intimate and frequent relation with all members of the order, and upon the courteous and vigilant performance of your duties, much of the harmony and stability of the lodge depends. Brother Installing Marshal, you will present the deacons for installation.
Our seniors, deacon for the ensuing year, and Brother Donnelly, who has been appointed as junior deacon for the ensuing year. Present themselves for inscription.
Brothers Cooksey and Donnelly, you have been appointed deacons of the lodge, and you are now invested with the jewels of your office. To you, with such assistance as may be necessary, is entrusted the introduction of visitors. It is also your providence to attend on the master and the wardens, and to act as their proxies in the active duties of the lodge, such as in the reception of candidates into the different degrees of masonry, and in the immediate practice of our rites. The square and compasses, as badges of your office, I entrust to your care, not doubting your vigilance and attention. Brother installing marshal, you will present the chaplain for installation.
Brother installing master, it is my pleasure to present to you Brother Duncan Tucker, who has been appointed as chaplain for Woodburn 106, and now presents himself for installation.
Brother Tucker, the sacred position of chaplain has been entrusted to your care, and we will now invest you with the jewel of your office. Your duties are to lead the devotional exercises of the law and to perform the religious and spiritual functions of your calling at our public ceremonies. Though Masonry is not a religion, it may rightly be characterized as religion's canon. And we are sure that in ministering at its altar, the services you may render will lose nothing of their vital influence because they are practiced in the broad spirit of universal tolerance which distinguishes our institution. Morality and virtue are the foundations of the lessons to be imparted to your brethren in the lodge, and the Holy Bible, that great light of masonry, is entrusted to your care. Brother installing marshal, you will present the stewards for installation.
Brother Solid Officer, it is my pleasure to present Brother Juan Ramirez, who has been appointed to serve the Woodburn Chapter Number 106 as the senior steward of the service on here, and now presents himself for installation.
Brother Ramirez, you have been appointed senior steward of this lodge and are now invested with the jewel of your office. The duties of your office are, among others, to assist the senior deacon, when requested, in conducting candidates, to see that the tables are properly furnished at refreshment, and that every brother is suitably provided for, and generally to assist the deacons and other officers in performing their duties. Your regular and early attendance will afford the best proof of your zeal and passion for the Lord. I will share your deliverance.
Check to that.
Brother installing marshal, you will present the tithe for installation.
Further installing master, I should present Brother David Gonzalez, who has been appointed to serve Woodburn chapter number 106 as Tyler for the ensuing year, and now present himself for installation.
Brother Gonzalez, you have been appointed to Tyler of this lodge and are now invested with the jewel of your office. As the virtual sword is placed in your hands, to enable you to guard against the approach of cowards and eavesdroppers, and suffer none to pass, except such as are really qualified. So should it morally serve as a constant admonition to us. You set a guard at the entrance to our thoughts. You have placed a watch at the door of our lips, and you post a sentinel at the avenue of our actions, thereby excluding every unworthy thought, word, and deed. Your regular and early attendance is especially urgent, as it will greatly facilitate the acquaintance of brethren and the introduction of visitors.
See, they stole your chair. Could we use one there, please?
Brother installing marshal, you will make the proclamation. Under the Mason's oath.
By the power vested in me as installing marshal for this installation, granted by the Grand Lodge of the ancient and accepted Masons of Origin, I declare Woodburn chapter lodge number 106, with the exception of the marshal and junior steward, duly installed. Will join with me in the public grand honors of Masonry of 3 times 3.
Brother installing marshal, we seem to have ran out of officers to install.
Chairs
I think our job is almost complete. Can you indicate that right now? If you like to do. Brother Chaplain, please pronounce the benediction.
Almighty and everlasting God, from whom cometh every good and perfect gift, send down upon thy servants here assembled the healthful spirit of thy grace, that they may truly please thee in all their doings. Grant, O Lord, power of mind and great understanding unto those whom we have this day clothed with authority to preside over and direct the affairs of this lodge, and so replenish them with the truths of masonry and adorn them with the humility of life, that by word and good example they may faithfully serve thee to the glory of thy holy name and to the advancement for all good purposes of our beloved institution. Amen.
So may it be.
Worshipful master, this concludes the installation of your lodge. I would ask you for your present. So I will lay aside my hat, and you should place yours on your head. I reinvest you with the service of your authority.
Thank you very much.
I always, at all these installations that I go to,
My number one complaint is how long they take. So I'm going to try and make my remarks as short as possible. First thing, I'd really like to thank all three of my installing officers. Thank you very much for coming out here on a day that's not your lodge in terrible weather and with bad knees walking circles and circles and circles around the room. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. There, so I don't ramble on too far, I'll see if I can stick to my notes. Next, I'd also like to thank all of my brothers in Woodburn Lodge for electing me. Let's make this a really good year. We're going to actually do stuff this year. And in a lot of the installations I go to, they give out presents to everybody. And I'm going to do that too. But I'm not going to do it right now. Because what we're going to do is this is going to be a working lodge. So what I've done is I've gotten a shirt for each one of you that when we're going out and doing this stuff, we can at least look like we're all together. So we'll get together, we'll do that. Don't leave without it. Thank you very much. Again, we're going to try and keep it brief. So thank you. And I'd also like to run out a big thank you to Molalla Lodge itself for allowing us to use this venue. We've been working on remodeling our lodge in Woodburn for more than a year. And we're that close to getting it done, but it's still not quite done. We thought we would be done just a week or so ago. When it wasn't, my brothers here in Molalla came to my rescue and said we could use this venue, and it's great. Thank you very much. It's staying much drier than our lodge was in Woodburn last year. So thank you again. I'd also like to do a great thank you to what's coming up next. Honored Queen Jennifer Huber and Kaylee Pearson from Bethel 81 and Bethel 43 are going to do a closing cross presentation from Job's Daughters for us. And it's going to be great. We can't wait. And as well as Miss Trillian Johnson Kelsey Green from Laurel Assembly number 43 is going to do the rainbow ribbon presentation for us. So thank you, and thank to all of your drivers and chaperones and guardians for bringing you out also in this terrible mixed weather. And thanks to Wildcat for filming us. Thank you very much. We don't know of another Masonic installation that's been filmed, so we're sort of a first. It's a great thing. Hopefully more people can recognize Masonry for the beauty that it has. So thank you. And finally, and before I really shut up here, I'd like to thank my family, Jennifer and Teddy and Ellie and my daughter Jenny.
Jenny, come here.
Oh, Jenny's over here. I saw a cape, I couldn't see more than that. For coming, putting up with me in the stress that this installation has caused. Thank you very much, and thanks for coming. And then really quickly, if I go through the officers, if they have anyone to thank and bring. Senior Warden? Nope.
Forceful Master, I will thank the Dirksons for being so nice to pick me up and not making me hike from Woodburn. So, I was totally joking. Any one of the brothers would have picked me up today. They were nice enough to pick me up and get me out here today. So, thank you.
Brother Junior Warden?
I'd like to thank my wife Irma, who is celebrating with me on her anniversary, on my anniversary as well. So to spend this day with me is really special. Thank you.
Let's go to Brother Treasurer.
Prepared a 45-minute dissertation on the family theory, but I'll save it for a little bit. I just want to thank my wife for allowing me the opportunity to take the time to do this job. I couldn't do any of this without her support. Thank you.
Commercial Master, my wife Rhonda sitting next to Kathy, but that's kind of dangerous.
Brother Senior Deacon.
Mr. Master, as usual, I'd like to thank my son, Riley Cooksey, for coming out with me.
Before I go on, I'd like to thank Riley Cooksey, who's here representing the Camping Demolay, for removing all of our chairs and doing all kinds of general help today. Thank you very much. I didn't forget. Junior Deacon?
Well, my wife couldn't be here with me today. She got called into work, and she was very happy about that. I would like to thank her, and I would like to thank my grandparents for being that light that made me want to do this. Thank you.
Senior Stewart.
We want to thank Noah Lodge for letting us use this space, and everyone that came, especially because of the weather. The weather was a little scary times, but thank you.
Thank you, Worshipful Master. Well, I would like to thank also Ted for being Worshipful Master for this upcoming year. I know you're going to do great. Also, my brother has the privilege of having the same position as you do, but in Salem. He's here with me. And also, every single one of you guys for being here. We couldn't have this installation without you guys, and thank you very much.
Also, my installing officer, oh, almost forgot about chaplain. Thank you.
Mr. Master, I want to thank you for appointing me as a chaplain, and I hope you're doing good service for the lodge for the year. I look forward to seeing the improvement completed there in Woodburn. It's really exciting. It's a lot of years, and so it's a really good team, good work, and it's a real pleasure to see them improving. Thank all the visitors for coming, and my wife wouldn't come. She's scared of the weather, so thank you.
My installing officers, I didn't forget you. I was actually saving you for last. So we're going backwards a little bit from there. So, Brother Livingston.
I think my wife showed up just a tad late, so she's here with me today, brave the weather for our 5-minute drive.
Sharp.
Well, First Master, the future ex-Mrs. Sharp hasn't appeared to show up here yet today, but maybe she will.
Next year.
Worshipful Master, thank you for the honor of installing you and your officers today. And I think my Lady Debbie did make it. I'm accompanied today by my Lady Debbie. And
she's braved the weather. I do also have a little presentation for you guys. This is my homemade for you three installing officers. Kahlua. Please don't drink it at the lodge. I heard that's against the rules.
that is possible.
But you might not want to drive after drinking it either. Joby's, Rainbow, you didn't see this. Thank you. We'll see you later. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Like I said, the weather is atrocious, but you all made it, and I appreciate it very much from my brothers who are not quite officers yet, or are officers in other lodges, and all of you, hopefully future brothers, to come out and see us and do things. And let's move on to the ladies. Are the Job's daughters ready to do their closing cross? Okay, we're ready whenever you ladies are. Thank you again. Great job up 81 and Bethel 43. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me that you guys come out here. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Good job. You're very welcome.
And Jolene, would you like to do yours now, or do you need a little prep time?
Take my best.
Sure. How much time do you need?
A minute, if that.
I'll blather on for a few minutes. So, ladies, thank you very much. Oh, what I have coming up tonight? Well, the big thing that we've got coming up this year is our lightsaber raffle, which you guys may have seen at the back as you came up. One of the really nice, great lightsabers. Yeah, if Mr. Livingston go get it, he enjoys playing with it. So we'll have him come and wave the sword around. This is the actual sword that we're doing. You may have seen these swords on the news. They can actually sword fight with them. Do you like it? We're going to start it up there. Turn it on. Don't know how to turn it on. It's a type of sword.
It's my sword.
You're supposed to use the force. He's from the dark side. And we can really say that, in Masonic things, the north is the side of the darkness, and that's where it does make more sound if I hold it on too long, because I'm blathering. We'll set it down.
It's appropriate for Blue Lodge.
And it's blue for the Blue Lodge, yes. As you can see, I'm really improvising. We've got this great raffle. We're going to raffle it off. You can buy tickets. We're pre-selling the tickets. We haven't got the original tickets. We're pre-selling them today for $5 each or 5 for 20. So please, if you're interested in getting it, let us know before you leave. We'll get you set up with some pre-tickets and get you tickets as soon as they're ready. We've got all kinds of other stuff started up for the year, and I decided when we were going to come in today that I wasn't going to go on to it, so I've forgotten to tell you what they are. So we're going to pass on that. Let's see. Oh, here she is.
In the beginning, there was the Bible. It is the center of life, and we will represent the center by placing a light on our altar, which is the center of our Masonic organizations. Each member of our Masonic family plays an important part. I will represent each organization this evening by placing their colors on our altar. First, the blue and white to represent the Master Masons. It is fitting that they be the first to be represented, for they are the beginning. None of the other organizations could have begun without them. They have built and maintained a temple for all of us to meet in. We call them our dads, for it is from the Master Masons that we of the Masonic youth groups owe our heritage. Add the colors of the Royal Arch Masons. Blue, purple, scarlet, and white. The organization meeting in the temple is giving us their loyal support, and in return, we will give them our love. Let us next add 5 colors representing the Order of the Eastern Star. Blue, yellow, white, green, and red are the rays of the star, and the star gives us a guiding light. They are our models in whose footsteps we are to follow. The Order of the Amaranth has given us a guiding hand, and with their help, we maintain our goals. Add now the colors of red and green. The red represents a crown and sword, and the green is for the amaranthine wreath. We now add the colors of Job's daughters, purple and white. There is great work for Job's daughters to do. They must strive to learn, and as they learn, they teach others the ways of God. They are the daughters whom the Masons have faithfully guided through the years. Job's daughters look for a worthy inheritance that they may truly say, "We hope to be known as the fairest in all the land." The rainbow girl is represented by the 7 colors of the rainbow. Red, symbolizing love. Orange, symbolizing religion. Nature, symbolized by yellow. Immortality, represented by green. Blue, symbolizing fidelity. And indigo, representing patriotism. and service symbolized by violet. A rainbow girl learns to dedicate her current and future life to one of service and one of active service as exhibited by the culmination of the great white light, which rests upon the altar of her assembly. The Rainbow Girls enrich their communities by their outstanding volunteerism and contributions to those in need. No family is complete without a sun, and to complete our Masonic family, we add the colors of new light. Blue, red, and gold. They too play an important part in our family. They are the future Masons in which the strength of our Masonic family will depend in future years. And now, as you behold the altar, you'll notice that a circle has been formed around the Bible. A circle is defined as an unbroken line. It is made up of arcs. If one arc is separated, if one arc is separated from the circle, the remaining part is no longer a circle, for it has a gap in it. It was once said of a nation, united we stand, divided we fall. So may we compare this nation and state with our circle. A circle means many things: friendship, love, unity, and infinity. Whichever word you choose to represent your circle, it must have a center, and that center is God.
Thank you very much, Trillian. Well done. If any of you have ever had to stand up in public and do any kind of speaking, you know how difficult that is. For a young lady of only 15? 16 years old, she did a phenomenal job. Thank you again. And thank you to all you girls doing all this for us and a bunch of strangers in the public. That takes a lot of guts, and it's a great job. You all are phenomenal. Thank you very much. And with that, let's go eat.